Can I really build a 10K per month YouTube channel using just AI in less than 10 minutes? Yes, you can, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you. In today's video, I'll not only share the 3 steps to do that, but also the specific AI prompts and strategies to execute them all. So the first step here is you want to pick a niche on YouTube that's both fast growing and underserved. Now, this is not rocket science, right? But this is a step where most people actually don't pause to think about it intentionally. And it ends up costing them greatly down the road where they're forced to compete with big creators in a saturated market. Now, the reason you want to start with this is because that if it's fast growing, then you can ride the wave up, right? That means more people searching on YouTube, more traffic, more visibility, and more room for you to scale. And if it's underserved, then you're not fighting heavy competition yet. That makes it easier for you to rank, easier to stand out, and faster growth. So let me show you with a specific example how you can use AI to help you identify a fast-growing and underserved niche on YouTube. So let's look at an example together. When you're asking AI to help you find your niche on YouTube, don't be vague, okay? In fact, be very, very specific because remember, garbage in, garbage out. And if you don't provide enough details in your input, the output from any AI tools is not going to be as reliable or quality. So you need to give it a lot of context so it can actually think like a strategist, like an enhanced intelligence for you. So to be very specific, your prompt should include 3 key things: your background as context, your business goal, and your competitive advantages, and the criteria you're asking them to filter and research for that underserved niche. So let me give you an example here by typing out my exact prompt. So let's start with your background. So let's say, hypothetically, assuming if I were a productivity coach. Okay, so I would say, hey, I'm a productivity coach with 12 years of experience. I have served over 258 clients. My ideal client avatar, whom I typically like to work with, is busy CEOs and executives at small and mid-sized companies in tech. Okay, so that's a very specific avatar for my ideal client. I sell a 10K package to work with my client for 3 months on average to help them with various areas, such as helping them improve daily productivity without working more or adding more overwhelm, helping them deal with burnout-related issues or executive communications. Okay, so that's my background. Second is what is going to be my business goal and my competitive advantages. So I am a certified productivity coach and certified executive coach as well. And I have a proven, let me just make something up. I have a proven 3D productivity framework that works great with my CEO clients. So that's my competitive advantages. Okay, in terms of my goal here, I am looking to grow my business as primary goal to a 7-figure level in a few years. I am looking to sell my high-ticket coaching program using YouTube organic traffic. I have been posting videos about productivity on YouTube for 6 months now and hoping to grow my channel with increased traffic funneling to my backend coaching package. Okay, so that's pretty clear. And then let's talk about the criteria. I need you to research and come up with 5 underserved niches related to what I'm offering on YouTube. Let me just correct them real quick. Criteria specifically is look for increasing or surging demand in search traffic on both Google and YouTube. And I'm also looking for underserved supply, limited supply of very few quality long form videos on YouTube covering it. Now, I just copy and paste that prompt and moved over to my AI tool, which is Grok 4. So you can use other AI tools if you want, but typically for research, I like to use Grok because I find it to be a little bit more data-backed and typically more research-heavy than the other tools like Claude or ChatGPT. Because sometimes with ChatGPT, it does make up stuff when you're asking it to look for like search data and trends and all of that. But with Grok, typically it will give you links to either a specific data source or an article. So I feel like it's overall more accurate. Plus, it has more access to more social media data. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just copy and paste my prompt here and hit enter and see what the output is. Okay, so now you can see this is Grok's output, right? So basically, it's first summarizing my requirements and my criteria, and then it's suggesting the 5 top niches that Grok thinks it's currently underserved on YouTube that's related to my offer. Okay, so like this is second one, third one, fourth, and fifth. So basically, the first one is suggested is AI-powered productivity strategies for tech executives. Second is burnout recovery techniques related to burnout. Okay, interesting. So I actually like this one. So I'm going to do more research on this. Third is regarding executive communication skills, managing decision fatigue. Okay, so all of this looks good. And you can see for each of the niche is suggested, it would go in depth to analyze from both the demand and supply side, the rationale, and then key search terms that you can actually double check, right? Literally, you can just copy and paste those search terms and or keywords really and drop it in either Google Trends, or if you have your YouTube channel within your YouTube studio, you can go to analytics and search for content gaps there. You can double check. You can even just paste it directly into the YouTube search bar, right? And look for all the videos that come up and see if it's can actually validate if it's currently underserved. And then it also suggests some relevant content ideas. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this and pick the ones I like, and then I'm going to validate that on YouTube directly. So another thing I like to do as a next step is I also like to compare things across multiple different AI tools just to see if there's any common patterns or common niches. And another thing I like to do as a next step is I like to literally ask this exact same question across multiple different AI tools just to compare if they have something similar to suggest if there's a common pattern or a common niche that they all suggest. Because this is a very important step and you want to make sure that you're really doing as much in-depth research as possible, okay? So this is Perplexity. It's very similar to Grok. It's very research heavy as well. I like to use it for any data related request. So I'm just going to copy and paste the exact same prompt and hit enter and see what's going to be the output. Okay, so you see it's also suggesting 5 here, right? Remote work burnout recovery. Okay, so this is also related to burnout. So interesting. Productivity coaching for executives, AI and automation integration for executive productivity. So this one is also something that's in common with Grok, right? In addition to the burnout related issue. Executive communications, also similar. Sleep optimization. This is something that did not come up before in Grok's answer. So this is something new. So you can see there are some similar ideas coming up. And then I'm going to go straight to YouTube. But of course, you can use other tools like vidIQ or Google Trends. Both are fine. So I'm just going to go straight to YouTube and paste in that niche idea that I just found from both. So essentially, I'm picking a niche idea that I'm both interested in myself, and also it seems to be a common theme that both AI tools suggest, right? And by the way, typically I compare, like I use the same exact prompt and I compare and get answers from at least 3 different AI tools. So I just did both Grok 4 and Perplexity, so you can also add ChatGPT or Claude. And then I'm gonna go straight into the search results and try to validate it myself and see if it's actually currently underserved by looking at what's the current demand here and how many videos, long form videos, are actually covering it and its respective views. Let's just say that after going through all the answers from different AI tools and cross-referencing and validating them directly on YouTube, right? What I'm gonna select here as my niche is for burnout for CEOs, because that looks currently underserved, but with surging demand. So let's assume that's my current niche topic. Then let's move on to the second step, which is breaking your niche down into 2 layers of content, right? Now we have our niche, we have to start testing around this niche idea on YouTube. So in order to do that, you need to break your niche down into 2 layers of content. Now, to make it a little bit more concrete, let me show you an example. First, you have to understand what are the 2 layers of content, right? What's the difference here? So the first layer here, let me show you, is very specific, more niched and buyer-ready content. So these are deeper, way more niched videos. They're lower search volume, right? Not too many people are searching for it, but they're very highly specific and highly targeted search queries. So for example, the daily routine for CEOs to avoid burnout. This is something that a burned out CEO might search on YouTube, right? So it probably doesn't have like a super high daily search volume, but they're highly, highly targeted. So whoever that's searching for this and actually ends up finding your video and landing on your video is probably going to be your ideal client avatar. So assuming this is going to be the niched video title for layer 1 content. Now, layer 2 content is still relevant to your niche, but just much higher level, broader, and it's going to be able to bring more search traffic too, just because it's broader. An example here, again, it's still relevant to your niche, might be something like the #1 cause of burnout at work and how to fix it. So this could be the video title for a layer 2 video concept. Now, again, you can see this is still very relevant, right, to the burnout niche, but it's not specific to CEOs anymore. So it's going to be broader and brings more visibility and more eyeballs. And the strategy here is really to use both layers. You want to use layer 1 to monetize first and layer 2 to quickly get more search volume and grow your following. All right, so now I'm going back to Grok and I'm following this up with another prompt to get AI to help me come up with specific video topics under layer 1 content and layer 2 content around this underserved niche, okay? So my prompt is, I have identified the underserved niche topic I like on YouTube is helping CEOs avoid and deal with burnout, right? Which is the second one that the suggested. I want to test this niche topic on YouTube with more videos and split my content into 2 layers. Layer 1, broader, more searchable topics to grow my audience. Layer 2, more niched, more buyer-aware content, although it's lower volume, but more highly targeted to attract ideal clients. Based on this, can you suggest 5 to 10 strong video topics for layer 1 and 2, respectively, that would complement each other and align with my goals? Okay, send. Let's see what the output is. All right, so now I'm looking at Grok's answer, and essentially it has suggested a couple different specific video topics under each layer, right? So for example, layer 1, there's a few here, such as 5 early signs of burnout, how to prevent burnouts in a high-pressure job, what causes burnout, quickly daily habits to avoid. Okay, so that's for layer 1. Layer 2, for more niched content, why tech CEOs burn out faster, executive burnout recovery case study. Okay, so I'm going to review all of this and look through them and pick 1 or 2 videos I like the most that are my favorite under each layer. So the reason you want to pick a topic you like from the list that it was suggested is because we need to move on to the third step here, which is building out topic clusters with testable angles. So let me show you what I mean by this first. Once you have your 2 content layers, broad and specific, and once you have picked out the several video ideas you like to start testing, here's what you want to do. For each video idea, you should test a few different angles around the same video idea, okay? So the core idea is still the same, but the angles of how you would approach and talk about that video is completely different. So the reason for that is you don't want to just talk about how to avoid burnout 5 times in the same way, right? You want to try different hooks and see which one would resonate the best with your audience and with the market. Let me give an example, right? One video might focus on tactics to reduce burnout from the same topic idea, how to avoid burnout. Another video might be attacking from another different angle, which is getting more done without adding more hours to proactively avoid burnout. Another on systems to get more support once you feel like you're already burnt out. So you have one topic, but 5 different entry points. That way, when you're launching those 5 different ideas of the same core underlying concept, you can test what your audience and the algorithm actually respond to the best. Let's say after testing, the data tells you that, okay, the last video, systems to get more support once you feel you're burnt out, actually got the most amount of views and really was high performing. Then you can make more videos tackling from that same aspect, right? Because that's what your audience feels most resonated with. So again, you can complete this step with AI. So I'll just say, here's my prompt. So I like this video topic. I chose the second one, how to prevent burnout in a high pressure job. Now I want to test the same idea from multiple different hooks to see what my audience would actually feel most resonated with. I like to test it from 3 different angles. The result, right? Like this is basically the promise of the outcome, which is focused on how to prevent burnout. And then secondly, the tactic. So it could be something like 3 steps to prevent burnout in a high pressure job. So the focus is on the 3 steps. And then the strategy, which could be something like, hey, how to use daily meditation to prevent burnout in a high pressure job. So the focus of that would be on the strategy, which is daily meditation. So please suggest 1 to 2 video titles under each hook. So let's see, what is a return? Okay, so result hook, escape burnout forever, achieve peak performance in your high pressure role. Tactic hook, 3 simple tactics. So that was similar to what I thought before. Daily hacks that stop burnout before it starts. Okay, that's not bad. A strategy, the ultimate strategy. Okay, so strategy here, you see like it's more high level, more general, so it doesn't suggest actually a specific strategy. So if you wanted it to suggest a specific strategy, you can go back and forth and ask for it to iterate and replace what I have here with something that's more specific, right? Like a specific method. So now you know how to automate the foundation of your channel with AI. I've created a free series here that you can check out in more detail that shows you how to use AI-powered strategies to automate a lot of steps in this entire workflow of starting and growing your YouTube channel. So you can improve your efficiency and don't have to do so much manual work. Now, if you like the content today, please hit subscribe. And on this channel, we talk about how to use AI in a smart way for small creators and small business owners to automate their marketing and fast track their YouTube channel growth. I'll see you in the next video.